Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another edition of MVT, your MLS video training series. I'm Jay Jennings with your MLS support team for Baldwin Realtors. Thank you for joining us this morning. I know everyone is going through some unique challenges in the time of this COVID-19 epidemic, and we are trying to reach out to our membership base in new and hopefully exciting ways to have a continuity of your MLS services while we are sometimes staying at home more often than our normal routines and schedules. And so hopefully this information is a good format for you to hopefully get a little bit of edge on some technology and tools that you have with the MLS, and reach out to buyers with the Collab Center. So we are going to get rolling into today's material, but first I want to mention to you, if you have any questions about the material that we are presenting today, you can go into chat and please type in your question. After the course is over with, we'll have a log of everyone who had a question, and I will reach out to you on an individual basis after the class, and we can cover any of the material that you have questions about. So basically, we are going to use this as a recorded video and use it hopefully down the road in a repository where people who couldn't make this session at this time can just go and log in, click on it, and watch this video at another time. So let me go to what we're going to be covering today in the Collab Center. So as hopefully you can see on the screen, we are going to talk about creating a saved search for a particular client. Moving on to the second item, how are you going to save that search to a new client? Okay. And after we save that search and added a new client, we are going to kick off the Collab Center tool, and we are going to start working on notification settings. We'll determine the urgency of that buyer. Is it something where they're looking now and maybe sending notifications on a monthly or weekly or immediately, whatever basis is most appropriate for that buyer. We will set that up. We will look at the client's Collab Center and what it looks like from the customer side of things. So not only will we be looking at the Collab Center from the agent's dashboard in Paragon, we'll also put some eyes on what your clients are seeing. Okay, we'll also cover that agent's dashboard and how you can view and manage your contacts and look at all the activity that's going on with their saved searches and how your buyers can create their own saved searches outside of the ones that you are creating for them. And let me point that out real quick. Why is that so important? Well, it's important because right now with so many people at home looking at properties online, they're not going out and going to open houses and showings or whatever. They're looking at properties online, and you spend a lot of time and a lot of money cultivating those buyers. Why not put them into a place where whatever they're looking at, you get to see? So if they're on Zillow or a third-party site, you have no idea what they're looking at and who they could be talking to. So here's a great opportunity for your clients to set up their own searches. And if they're clicking on properties they like or dislike, you are seeing that, what their trends are, what properties are out there. So what a great insight to have, and a great tool to reach out to clients to potentially create another transaction, right? So after that, we are going to go over just a couple tips and tricks that I think will help. Hopefully you avoid some pitfalls of using the Collab Center, some time efficiencies, some things that I found that hopefully will get you through the process of setting clients up and searches a little bit faster. And hopefully you get comfortable about using this tool. It's been very, very effective for those who are using this correctly. And again, I hope you get some good ideas out of this. And again, just at the bottom of your screen, If you want to hit chat and send me your questions, again, we'll address any of those questions you have. I'll reach out to you individually. Or if you ever want to send a question about this content or any MLS issue, please send that to mls@baldwinrealtors.com. That will go to myself and Garrett Eichner, also in the MLS department, and we'll make sure we get eyes on that and respond in a timely fashion. So let's go right into Paragon. Okay, so we are at the home screen of Paragon. What we are going to do to start off, let's imagine that you have a new client who's a buyer who's reached out to you, and they've given you a set of criteria of property that they want to purchase. Okay, so what we're going to do first is create that search. So we're going to use the example of a single family residency. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the search icon. I am going to go down to the right class here, residential single family. Okay, and now I want to start entering in all the criteria that for this client. One thing I'm going to point out, here's one of those tips and tricks right now that'll be very, very important. So take note of this, please, because this will save some headaches and time management issues right here. Under property status, folks, notice right now I have active and contingent on sale. If I have coming soon in there, it will not allow me to save that search. So that's important to let you know that you can't have coming soon in there. What I'm going to do, just to point this out as well, is I'm going to hit that eyeglass, and you could see that coming soon is not checked. All right, so I want to make sure that's unchecked there. And because some people have a default and property status is all active, let's take a look and see what that looks like real quick. All active, right? So if that's your default, you would want to go into here and uncheck that, right? See how I unchecked that? And now it goes back to just active and contingent on sale. So anyway, real important factor there. Just remember again, you can't save a search with coming soon in the property status. Okay, so let's get to it. Let's say that our folks are looking for something, let's say in Rock Creek subdivision. Okay, so let's go ahead and go to subdivision. And I want to go, let's just go ahead and type this in real quick. Hold on one second for me, folks. Okay, guys, sorry about the delay there. I was just made it, notice that the screen wasn't going on to Paragon. So, okay, let me just kind of refresh it real quick here. Again, I think you all heard me about talking about coming soon, status not going to work for a safe search. So here's that tree again. If I go under property status, I'm going to click on the eyeglass, and you can see here that I can uncheck coming soon if you've selected all active. So that's just really important. So sorry again for that little hiccup, but we're up and running. Hopefully everything looks good. Okay, so again, this customer is there particular saying that they are looking for Rock Creek. So I am going to go down to subdivision and put in Rock Creek. Okay, so right now I'm looking, all right, there's 19 active listings in Rock Creek. We can get very specific about the searches, whether it's bedrooms and features. We could, if we wanted to look, say maybe a pool. If I type in pool and features, let's say an in-ground pool. There's only one you can see right there. Let's just go back. I just want to say you can add as many features and criteria as you want, but it's just important to realize too that if you get too specific and that gets to 0, maybe too much information is not a good thing. You want to back off the criteria. But let's just leave at 19, all right? So right now, what we're going to do is save this search and add it to a client. So hopefully you can see right here where I move to save search as. All right, so you can do as many save search as you need, as many as you want. Save search would actually make this page, all the material, all the criteria on this particular search, your default. And we obviously don't want to do that. So we want to create a unique save search right here. And I want to point out to you, right now, this defaults to a tab right here to yourself. Well, we don't want to create this one as for our agent as ourselves. We want to create this search for a contact. So let's move next door and hit contact. All right. We want to name the search. So let's go to Rock Creek for Rocky Balboa. I like it. All right. Okay. If Rocky Balboa was already a contact with us, we could assign it to a contact by clicking on this eyeglass here and going through our existing contacts. But this is a brand new contact of ours, so I'm going to hit cancel. And right here, I'm going to hit add a new contact. All right, so you'll see the red R's that are some required fields. I'm going to go ahead and start typing in Rocky Balboa. And for whatever reason, I don't know why it doesn't have a red R by email, but it should. So we want to put an email where we're going to send these listings. So I'm going to put Rocky at b.com. Okay, we'll just make that up. Let's go ahead and hit save, and you will see a green text box that says that we have now saved this contact, right there. New contact has been added successfully. Great. We've got the contact in there, but now we want to set up the notification part for that save search. So instead of hitting save, I'm going to go to save and notify, and this is going to kick off the Collab Center process. So let's go ahead and click on save and notify. Okay. As you can see, save search, great. All right, Rock Creek for Rocky Balboa. All right, notification options. Right now, everything is off, but we want to go into the Collab Center with auto notify right here on the bottom. Once I click on that, the page will start to populate below that. Okay, so I'm going to click on Collab Center with auto notify. You'll see now that I'll have to drag down the screen. All right, and it's saying, all right, the client has not accessed the site. Of course not, we're just creating it right now for them. But in the Collab Center, there's our 19 properties that we pulled up. All right, site configuration, just leave that to on. And what we're going to do next to set up how the client is going to get notifications is right here. Notification settings, okay? Let's go ahead and click on that. Hopefully everybody can see my cursor, okay? Notification settings. So let's go ahead and start from the top of our page and work our way down. At the very top of the page, we're going to see customize notification body. And right here, you'll see message body that I'm going to click on. This is important to point out that this is unique. This email body is unique for each client and each unique search you're creating. So if you wanted to type something in here and says, Rocky, this is, here are some homes in Rock Creek that may fit the criteria you were looking for, please call me if you have any questions about looking at this property virtually, as we seem to be going to now. But whatever that would be for this particular client and search. So I'm just going to leave it at there and hit OK. All right, now let's keep moving down for the notification date range. You'll notice it starts today and it's going to default for 1 year. Okay, so if you just want to click on inside the end range where you think, well, we're going to be buying something for the next few months, you can just go back several months and say, you know what, we expect to buy something by Halloween of this year. Okay, so now we've changed that. Next thing we're going to be looking at is notification triggers. Okay, so you can roll over these question marks if you ever have a question about what it is. And so this applies to emails that's being sent to a contact. And I'm going to show you how you can go into your Collab Center preferences wizard and set all these up ahead of time. So this always defaults. So what I have set up right now to set off an email for Rocky Balboa is anytime there's a price change for an existing active listing in Rock Creek, an email will be generated. New match, anytime there's a new listing that comes into Rock Creek, an email will be generated. And in this case, I picked status change. Status change is a good one. I like a lot of times, especially when you're working with buyers who are on the fence and are like, nah, I really don't need to do anything right now, and especially in a hot market. And all of a sudden they start getting these listings that says they're going from active to pending. They might like going, oh my goodness, you know, I may have to get on the ball here. And if I want the house I'm looking for, I better be prepared to start writing an offer. So that's a good one. What I'm going to show you here real quick in Eyeglass is some other notification triggers that you can pick. You can pick a tour, which would be an agent only open house or open house for the public. I kind of steer away from those because here's why, folks. Again, you work really, really hard to cultivate those buyers. I don't necessarily know if I would want to give an email notification to a buyer that says, here's an open house that's coming up from one of my competition's listings. Why don't you just show up on your own while I'm busy? I could be busy showing properties that day to somebody else, and all of a sudden it's bye buyer, right? So anyway, that's why I don't have those selected. New comment is interesting, where you may want to use that option, and we'll get to that in a little bit. But new comment basically means there's a tool in the Collab Center for the buyer side and as the agent side where they get an email of their listings. They can click on a button on a particular listing and write something down about it and say, Jay, I love this house. I really would love to get more information on it. Or they could say, you know what? I can't believe they painted this house pink or blue, and I'd never live in a house like that, or whatever they comment. But then when they make a comment, you would get an email about whatever they're commenting on that particular listing. So anyway, good opportunity to stay engaged with buyers if you want to click on that one. So if I did decide to choose that one, I can go okay and hit save. And now I've got new comment and notification triggers. Okay, so here's an area I see where some agents kind of mess things up a little bit when it comes to scheduling. How often are these clients going to get an email? And let me give you an example. Right now, it defaults to immediately. So anytime there's a price change, new match, a status change, or a comment, an email will go out immediately to that client. So here's where sometimes things go a little awry. We've had a lot of snowbirds just going home, and we have clients who are setting up searches. They're saying, you know what? We're not ready now, but when we come back next year, we're going to be ready to buy that Gulf front condo that we've been wanting for so long. And so an agent goes into Collab Center, sets them up with a search that says, show me all 3-bedroom Gulf front units in Orange Beach, Gulf Shores, Fort Morgan. And they leave it on immediately. By the time they get back home to Chicago or wherever they're from, their inbox is crushed. Right, guys? And so they're like, okay, this may not be the agent who I'm wanting to work with. I think they know that I didn't want to buy for another 7 to 8 months. So instead of leaving it on immediately, I think we would want to go in this case to something like recurring. When I click on recurring, set time frame comes up. And this is where you can choose, again, maybe it's a good idea for that snowbird. We hit monthly and say the first day of every month, the first Sunday of every month, and at what time. Here's a good, I'll give you an example. I don't want to get in the weeds on this one, but I like to share insights from our members and how they're using this. We had a member they were working with one of their friends who was a single mom. And she said, hey, listen, every Friday night, I put the kids down at 10 o'clock at night, and then I've got 2 hours just to myself to enjoy and do whatever I want to do. So guess what she set up for that client, for her client? Weekly, Friday, unclick Monday, at Friday at 10 p.m. So guess what happens? She puts the kids to bed, pulls out her iPad, gets on the couch, opens up her email. Guess whose email is first, right? Let's start looking at properties. So anyway, that's just something to point out. All right, immediately may be a good idea, obviously, guys, if you got somebody who says, listen, I need something right now, and if it hits the market, I'm ready to move, or you find a very unique product that doesn't come around too often. So when it hits the market, they want to know immediately. So good. Okay, let's move on. So as you can see, our email for a client has already been pre-populated. If you want copies on everything goes out to your client, you can look down here in this corner in BCC me as the agent. If you click on that, you'll see that your email will come up, okay? And let's just make sure too, here's the subject. This is the default, but let's just change it for this client. Rock Creek Market Update. Okay. Now, the very last thing at the bottom here says agent notifications. So again, if it's at Snowbird, you may want to change that to recurring, okay? Or we could just turn it off for right now. But set it up the same way as your clients most likely so that you're on top of it with what they're getting. So we're done with notification settings. So let's go ahead and hit OK. Top right-hand corner. Okay, we are not done yet. Probably the most important piece after you've done all this work, if we scroll down here, is you'll see setup complete, and then right here is send link. This is going to be an email for each client. You'll get this one time for their search to welcome them to the Collab Center. So let's go ahead and hit send link. So you're only going to have to do this one time to welcome to the Collab Center, which the subject line says here, right? Welcome to your Collab Center for buyers, right? I have a prefab email body that says greetings. Please review the most current properties listed in the MLS by clicking the link below. Please don't hesitate contacting me, right? And I can show you how you can do that in your default. But you can see I just went up to message body and I've created defaults. So I've got buyer, client email, seller. So if I had one for on the seller side of Collab Center, which will be another class, you could click that and it would populate. So you don't have to keep typing the stuff over and over again. Anyway, all right, so let's go ahead and hit send. This is the email that your client is going to get in their inbox, okay? I still have my Mardi Gras picture up. I got to change that, but this is what they're going to get. So everything will be branded to you. Your phone number, your email, your picture, the welcome, the client's name, and they can click on visit the site. They'll give you, here's my greetings, the email I typed in there. There's the 19 matches. They can click on view the listings. And it's also going to give them a little bit information on what they can do. When they're actually in there, they can click on listings, say that we're undecided about this one. Right here, what are the categories? They can click and say this is a favorite. That may be okay, or this one, no, this is a dog, right? This one's not going to work. So which is good insight for you, especially if you, anyway, so you get to see, again, what they're liking and not liking and focus your energies on that and getting them good product to look at. So communicate with clients. So it kind of gives them an overview and it's going to ask them, they just have to create a one-time password. They're going to use the email as their username, so they don't have to do anything there, but they will create a password to get into the Collab Center and ask them to do that and you'll be all set. So we get that, right? So we're all set. So let me just kind of shut this down and let's say we're we open up Collab Center, we can come into work the next day, or we're working from home the next day, and we want to see what's going on with our clients in the Collab Center and some of the searches. So let me show you a few different ways. One, I'm going to show you how do you find saved searches. All right, real quick, you can go into up top here in the power search. We can click in there and just whatever we typed in for that particular search. So let's go Rocky. There. Under Save Search, you're going to see Rock Creek, Rocky Balboa. We can click on Save Search and it'll pull it up that way. There it is. And just click on the underline and then boom. There's all our criteria for Rock Creek, the 19 properties, okay? What's another way you can do that? Well, let's show one, another way you can find a Save Search. One, you can go under the search icon. You can also go under Save Searches, Save Property Searches, or you can go into the class that you were searching, pull up that search screen and look at, you can hit right here in the top left-hand corner, load search, load Save Search. Here's all the saved searches that I've created. I can either scroll down to it and find Rock Creek for Rocky Balboa, or type it up here and find it that way as well. There's Rock Creek, Rocky Balboa. Click on that way, pulls up. So we can always adjust this particular search and then resave it. Just hit Save Search while you're in that search, and you can customize it again for your client. So now let's say we want to view and manage our contacts in the Collab Center. Okay, so we're back on our home page, and I'm going to go to Contacts icon right here. And I click on Contacts, right here is View, Manage Contacts. I'm going to click on that. Okay, very easily, by opening up this screen, I can tell who's in the Collab Center visually by seeing the blue view buttons. These 3 clients that I have set up, out of the 9 I have, 3 of them I have set up in the Collab Center, okay? So this would be your dashboard to kind of see what's going on. Let's kind of roll through this screen here real quick. If you were to click on your client's name, here's Rocky Balboa. Let's click on it. You can see, all right, there's the search information. If you ever want to go into the contact information for that client, you can update it there. All right, add some things. I think a lot of people right now also, this is a neat screen that you have to, most people don't see because you have to scroll down to. But if you scroll down under contact information, a lot of people are using source to say, where did I get this buyer from? Obviously, it's important to figure out where your marketing dollars are going. So there's a great way to kind of track that. All right. Buyer activity. All right. You can see if you click on buyer activity that Rocky Balboa for Rock Creek shows up. If you wanted to add another search right now for that client, you could do that right here. Okay. Seller activity is going to be another class, but if you were to click on that and click on associate property, you could actually set up a Collab Center profile for one of your listing, for one of your sellers. All right, so if you've got the listing in MLS, you could create a contact for that seller, associate property. You would click on that button and then you would just select the listing that's theirs. And that seller is going to get an email every Thursday morning that shows how many people, how many agents have looked at my property, how many clients, how many customers have looked at my property. So it's a good insight to see, you know, maybe we have this thing priced right or not. But anyway, that'll be another class, Collab Center for buyers. But I just wanted to point this out. So you can actually look at message history as well. You can see, so every time an email will go out, you could take a look at it there. So that's important sometimes, guys, where people say, a client says, you know what, I know I've been getting emails from you, but it's the one on Thursday, last Thursday that I got, there was something in there I wanted to take a look at. So you could go in here and find the date and click on this line item, and all the listings for that particular day will pull up. Okay, so anyway, that's what happens if you click on the actual name. There's a plus sign to the left of your client. Let's go ahead and click on that. You can see when I open that up, all the searches that I have for this client, because we could have multiple, will show up here. So right now there's the 19 new, and right now look at this, there's green, yellow, and red for favorites, possible, and rejected. Well, there's 0 there, right? So let me show you what happens, how that changes. Okay, so what I'm going to do, if I click on the blue view button, this is going to take you as what your client would see in the Collab Center. So let's go in. I'm going to click on the blue view button. Okay, this is what they would see. Welcome to your Collab Center. There are the 19 homes. It's branded to you, right? So let's take a look and see what's going on here. So there's a new match active. So let's just go in there and see, you know what? That's possible for whatever reason. They said it's okay. Let's say, you know what? This one, for this property right here, they say, I love this one. That's a favorite. This one, they're saying no, for whatever reason. They don't like brick, right? So they say no, reject that one. All right, yellow, they say no, I'm not a fan of yellow. All right, so that's a no. But let's just go to one more and say, you know what? I love this one. Okay, great. So they favored it. So you get an idea how they can do this. Now, here's something that I would actually create a search. I would create a search for yourself and create yourself as a contact and set this up to Collab Center so that you receive this welcome email and you can navigate this because guys, we're professionals, right? But it doesn't sound very professional when you send this to a client and they're like, hey, I'm in a Collab Center. How do I do this? You're like, I don't know, right? So we don't want to be that person, right? So that's why I would say create a search for yourself, add yourself as a contact, go to the Collab Center as practice, and then look what happens here. So let's look at 126 Clubhouse Drive. At this, in the bottom right-hand corner, there's a box with an arrow. And this is what your client would click on. And let's see what kind of options they have. One, they can email this to anyone else that they want to. A husband, a friend, and say, hey, what do you think about? I'm looking at this one, right? Now, here's what we were talked about. Remember notification triggers? This, if they clicked on this, they might want to make a comment. And they say, hey, Jay, this is awesome. Okay, let's just hit submit. So that is going to create an email to me as the agent, and it's going to show up in the Collab Center dashboard. All right, they can also request a showing. So if they click on that, they're going to pick a date, they're going to pick a time, and put in some comments. Hey, we're coming into town Saturday. We like to spend a couple hours looking at this, or whatever, right? Okay, submit that. So here's the cool thing, guys. You get an email from your client. It doesn't go to the listing agent, right? What good would that be? So it goes to you and in showing time format. So if you look at it and you say, yeah, I can do that, you can approve it and it goes right into showing time to the listing agent and you can get a confirmation for your clients that way. So that's a big time saver, right? Share to Facebook, I think is a great tool for on the seller side. So I would train, that's why I would say, hey, if you add a seller to Collab Center, I would teach them how to, say, I'm going to send the home to you, click on this for me, and let's share that home so everybody in your sphere of influence gets to see your home for sale on social media, right? Anyway, different tools out here, Walk Score, it can show you different features about the community, how close everything is to the certain stores and schools, things of that nature. Okay, so little added benefit for clients. So anyway, that's important to point out. Again, learn that, play along with it. But here's the other really, really cool thing that I want to point out. I'm going to go to the top left-hand corner, right up here, what we call our hamburger in the Collab Center. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to click on this top left-hand corner. And so let's say, okay, they're really interested in Rock Creek, but let's say maybe that they're also interested in finding a home for their daughter who's getting out of college, or they want an investment property for rental income, okay? So let's go ahead, let's say, you know what? they're going to create their own search. So they're going to go to property search. This opens up for them to look at. They'll see a map of different properties around the area, or they can customize their own search. So let's just type in Foley, Alabama. You can see that pops up, Foley, Alabama. You can do a radius search, let's say 3 miles, all right, of that area. Hit submit. Let's say they're looking for something between 99,000 and 150,000 for an investment property. All right, let's hit submit. All right, see there's one property that showed up in that circle, right? Beds, 3 beds, 3 beds, 2 baths. So they can pick residential, single family. They can pick whatever they want, right? They can pick their statuses. Active is the only thing that I have set up for them to see. But here's what I wanted. This is why I want to show you guys this and train or educate your clients. They would have to save this. Hit save and let them call it whatever they want. Foley investment. Okay. Let's just leave it at that and hit save. Great. Okay, now let me show you what happens. All right. As you can see, it's happening in the background. All right. So I'm just going to get out of, I'm going to go back into Paragon. Okay. I'm going to shut, I'm just pretend that we're opening up view manage contacts for the first time. Right. So let me show you the next time you log in, you go under contacts, view manage contacts, and let me show you what's changed for Rocky Balboa. Okay, here's Rocky Balboa right here at the top. Let me go ahead and click on the plus sign. Look what happens now, guys, under the plus sign. Foley investment has now been added to save searches. Okay, Rock Creek is still there, and look what happens now. One, you can say, there's the 2 homes that they said were favorites. One, they said, maybe. There's the 2 homes that they said, no way. And look at right there. There's the unread new favorite comments. So there's the comments that you can see what comments they've sent in. So here's why it's important, guys. Let's go through this scenario again, how to find the results that they like, because here's what's going to happen. Ultimately, when you start getting a lot of contacts and a lot of searches, it's hard to remember everything that's going on at once, right? So let's say Rocky Balboa calls you up and he says, hey, Jay, I really like that house in Rock Creek, right? So, hey, and you say, there's 2, and he says, there's 2 of them, Jay, that I really, really like in Rock Creek. So how do you find those real quick? So let's do that. So let's go into contacts, view manage contacts. We'll go to Rocky Balboa and look on this line item right here. There's the 2 favorites right there. Just click on the number 2. Look what happens. There's the 2 listings. So he says, you know, the one on Clubhouse Drive is the one I really like. Can you tell me what year that was built in? You're like, sure. Just click on the MLS number and say, okay, yeah, absolutely. This property was built in 1995. Okay, so that's how you can get to properties very, very quickly. Okay, and you can see I'm in all fields detail report right now. If I want to go back to, I just hit contacts right there to go back into my dashboard, right? So anyway, that's a great way to go and find properties very, very quickly when people, your clients start liking and rejecting. So that's why it's really important, I think if you create searches for yourself and a client and navigate that whole process, learn how to create the Collab Center, learn how to navigate it, and how to use all the different tools and function, and then try saving a search in Collab Center as a client. So you can always tell your clients how to do that. And what a great tool, what a great crystal ball it is if they're looking for other properties that, again, creates another transaction without them shopping on Zillow or a third-party site, right, guys? Okay, so hopefully that makes the Collab Center is a great tool right now for you folks to use to engage those buyers who are looking at more and more properties online at the time of the coronavirus. Let me see if I can get back to, I'm going to try and go back to my PowerPoint. Hopefully we can get this up and running. Let's see. Hopefully everybody can see that. All right. So let me just cover a couple things real quick. If anybody can't see it, just kind of raise your hand, but we should be on tips and tricks right now. Hopefully you're seeing that information. Okay. Oh, you raised your hand. Okay, thanks. Let me make a quick adjustment and we'll get back on board with that real quick. Okay. Thank you for letting me know. And we are popping up momentarily. Okay, I think we're on board now. All right, so you should be seeing tips and tricks. So a couple things to remember that'll save you some pitfalls and wasting time and making sure you get the right information. First thing, remember, remove the coming soon status before saving any searches, okay? Really important. So second line item, and that's homework, but I think it'll help you out tremendously if you create yourself as a contact, add a safe search to Collab Center, and then navigate Collab Center as a contact. This will help you out tremendously so the clients, again, can come to you with questions, you know how to answer them, and you know what it looks like and feels like. And again, show them how to use that top left-hand, the hamburger tool to do their own property searches and save those searches so that you can see what they're seeing, right? And create new transactions, putting more money in your pocket. Third line item, notification settings. It's really important to determine the urgency of the buyer and their needs and deliver the listings as such. Again, right? We don't want to bog down that snowbird's inbox with 400 emails in the first, 3 weeks of them being gone, right? So is it going to be immediate? Is it going to be a weekly? Is it going to be monthly? So you determine that. But again, notification settings are important. One thing, if you're on the homepage of Paragon, what I would suggest doing is clicking on preferences. And under preferences in the top right-hand corner, you're probably used to seeing preferences wizard, but below that will be Collab Center wizard. I would go through those 5 or 6 pages, type in that email body, get a couple of your settings done. You can set whatever those triggers are for emails to go out to your clients that says anytime there's a new listing, a price change, a comment, you can set those settings up in there one time, set it and forget it, save you some time, right? Finally, just something to point out. Map searches may be easier than a manual search sometimes. I just want to point that out, where if they're looking in a subdivision or a city or an area, it's going to be pretty easy to do. But if they're looking like in a rural area in, say, the north part of the county, you may want to try doing a map search and just save a map search that way. Okay, so finally, wrapping things up, if you guys have any comments or questions about MLS or any of the tools or the resources or about today's material, here is myself and Garrett Eichner, who's come on board now since with us for about a month now. You can call me directly. So even if we are working remotely with everything going on with coronavirus, if you call my number directly, 270-2725, it will roll to my cell phone. Okay, so there will always be a continuity of service. And then also look at Paragon, because if it's after hours and you have a question about how a field works or saving something, those would be good guys to call. 877 MLS help. Again, you can see Monday through Friday, they're open early and late until 8. So give them a call if you need some help, because we're all working unique hours now. But again, they're really good about working with fields and how to navigate the system. They may not know our rules because each MLS is a little bit different. But anyway, that's some good resources. Call us, email us. We are here to help. Again, if anybody had any questions that they've entered in chat, I will see those in about 10 minutes. I'll be reaching out to you today individually and going over any questions you have about Collab Center or anything else you'd like to discuss. And thank you so much for your time today. I hope everyone stays safe and look forward to having another one of these MVT, MLS video training sessions again in the near future. Look at your single sign-on page and you will see the courses and other webinars that will be available to you. And again, thanks again for your time, everybody. Have a great day. Take care. Bye-bye.